Saudi Arabia has now sentenced 5 people to death in connection with the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. 3 others have been sentenced to decades in prison, but 2 prominent Saudi officials have escaped prosecution, even as the CI says Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman ordered the murder. Editor-in-Chief Andy Serwer joins us now. Andy, what can we make out of this latest decision?
Well, I don't think this is going to really satisfy anyone, particularly in the West. And here's why. Because it's a trial that was shrouded in secrecy. Lower level people seem to be taking the rap here. And you mentioned these 2 sort of middle level people in the Saudi government that were freed. There was no mention of MBS at all during the trial. And so basically, I think that this was sort of tantamount to a show trial that the Saudis had to sort of try to make this problem go away.
I hate to be a cynic here, but you can't but ignore the timing. The Saudi is looking to raise money for their fresh IPO, Aramco. You think there's a connection here?
Yeah, well, of course, they did do that IPO, Alexis, absolutely. And it was moderately successful, $1.7 trillion valuation, biggest IPO in history, so you can't knock that. On the other hand, they did fail to attract the capital from the West that they were really looking to bring in to this deal. The other thing is there was a big conference in October in Saudi Arabia, and a lot of people from the United States in particular didn't go to this conference. I wouldn't say that Saudi Arabia is quite a pariah, but in many parts of the United States and other places in the West, people are looking askance, and a lot of this has to do with this murder. And I think that it was a real miscalculation by the Crown Prince.
And the risks to investing in Saudi Arabia, they're still here. They haven't gone away.
That's right, and it goes beyond just this murder, which is really, not directly connected to investing there, but it has to do with transparency, rule of law, having your capital tied up, Islamic rules when it comes to governance and finance, and none of those things, to your point, have gone away at all, Brian.
Do you think that this changes the relationship that President Trump would have with the Saudis at all?
I don't think it does. I mean, it sort of puts President Trump in a difficult position, though, Alexis, because he's got to basically sign off on the trial and say, well, this is legit or not. And, he can kind of have it halfway, which is we're glad to see the Saudis, bringing this to closure. On the other hand, we wish there was a little bit more transparency. And I think that's probably how he's going to play it. But it's not a particularly, a situation where I think he's going to feel, 100% comfortable.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.